Hey witches! Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be breaking down the gameplay trailer for the upcoming Sims 4 expansion, Enchanted by Nature, which releases on July 10th. I don't want to waste too more time before we get into it because it's almost a 7-minute trailer, which was insane to break down, and my script for this video clocked in at around 4,500 words. But just a note before we start that we will be going through the trailer frame by frame and dissecting as much as possible in each shot, so it'll be really slow and we'll be pausing a lot. If you haven't watched the trailer already, I don't recommend this as an ideal first viewing experience, since in addition to all that, the trailer audio will also be muted. I will have the video linked down below, however, so you can go watch it and come back for the breakdown. All the info here today is from the blog post and the store page on the Sims website, which I will link down below. There's also some additional information about the expansion pack on the EA launcher. So without further ado, let's jump into the trailer. We open on this absolutely stunning shot of the landscape. I really just can't get over the way this looks with the rainbow and the greenery and the water with all the pink and purple hues. Oh, so pretty. We then get a close-up shot of these two Sims talking, both fully decked out in new cast items, including this upper arm bracelet, these dresses, this hair, which looks a lot like the hair the main Sim from the reveal trailer was wearing, but with some added details with these metallic accents. This hair is also most likely new, and I'm guessing the hairpiece will come with the hair. There's also just a Sim floating in the water in the background here. We get a close-up on the green-skinned Sim here and learn that this is Mother Nature. Get a better look at the headpiece and the most subtly pointed ears. I honestly regret zooming in on this eye makeup because it already looks like the eyeliner does not line up well with the bottom lash line, and it reminds me of this abomination from the MAC collab the Sims did a few years ago. Her lipstick is new. One thing the Simmers have been noticing that I've seen in comments is that she does not have fairy wings. So Mother Nature doesn't seem to be a fairy. Maybe she's a plant Sim? We pan up over what I assume is a park in the new world. This Sim is foraging, which is a new activity in the pack that we'll talk more about later. I also think this bush thing is cool and pretty, but also unnecessarily huge for something that doesn't look like your Sims can walk around in, like a hedge maze. In this next shot, we can see some of the new build items coming, like this column, this exterior trim, this roof, and the roof trim. Also, there are plants on the roof here. There are some more decorative wall plants, like these purple flowers and this cool branch. There are also these new flower beds. All three Sims in this shot have new outfits. I really like the detail of the bags and pouches on all these new outfits that seem to be really themed around foraging. This Sim is using fairy dust on her plant, which kind of looks like a mini beanstalk from Jack and the Beanstalk. So it'd be cool if that was a reference to it. Caring for tabletop potted plants is a new feature coming to this pack. In the background of this shot, we can also see a new fence with some greenery and a matching gate. We get a view of one of the new neighborhoods, similar to a shot we saw in the reveal trailer. This is where the shipwreck with the mermaid statue is, and we can see the title card for the expansion. In this scene, we can get a better look at some more build items, like these windows, a new door, and this new spandrel. We're also getting a new potted plant with a funky vase, and these bushes look new as well. This fence is presumably the same one as earlier, but without the greenery. We zoom in on this Sim, who has a really cute new outfit, and I like that we can see some additional detail in this new hair. It's very pretty. In this overhead shot, we can see some new stairs and new railings. This looks like a new floor option, which I was hoping was a new terrain paint instead, but I'm doubtful since these lines look way too defined here to be terrain paint. There is also what looks like a roof trellis here, which I'm hoping is something actually coming, because when I try to build these myself, I use a specific base game fence and a specific bush from Debug, and this fence and bush look suspiciously like those. So I'm not trying to be pre-disappointed here, but I was hoping to have an easier way to make trellises like this, but we'll see. We go inside and we can see some new furniture, like this coffee table, this rug, this decorative log, these shelves, both the shroom and wood variety, this new picture, as well as this decorative greenery, and I can't get over how amazing this wallpaper is. And there's this super cute butterfly door. There are a ton of new vases and some new plants for your Sims to care for. I think some of these are going to be decorative instead of harvestable, which is really cool too. There's some new wall decor on what looks like full-length windows, which is really interesting since I didn't expect to see that type of window within the vibes of this pack. I saw someone mention that this could be a wallpaper, and honestly, if it's a wallpaper, I'm gonna be kind of mad, because that would be very bizarre to me, to be honest. Our Sim waters her indoor plants, and I'm obsessed with this little guy right here. Here, I'm assuming she's fertilizing her plants, and as the camera pans, we can get a better look at more of the greenery decor, and we can see a new hutch or shelving unit, as well as this new chair with this super cute little bee pillow. The camera settles on this dude, who I was not expecting to just be almost shirtless, not gonna lie, but he's wearing a watering can with a nest on his head, like the forager from the reveal trailer, and some new fingerless gloves because, alright. We can see that he is also green, but does not have fairy wings. Another plant sim, perhaps? He's also got this cool mushroom tattoo. In the background here, we can see what I think is a makeup organizer clutter piece, as well as this super cute acorn dude. We pan again, and I really don't understand why they're hanging shelves like this on windows. I guess this may lend itself to the theory that the windows are actually a wallpaper, but I refuse to believe that. Oh, and this bench and this table are also new. We get a peek at the new kitchen counters, and I adore how this corner piece is open. And on the counter and on the floor, we can see a bunch of wilting plants. Just a big yikes all around. In this next frame, we see a little fairy messing around in this new sink, which, side note, I really appreciate how seamlessly it fits with the counter for being what looks like a standalone sink. In the background, we can see this new cabinet, a new mirror, a new desk, and presumably a new chair, as well as this little guy. I love him. She uses some fairy dust on this plant to enchant it, which you can see by the glow around the plants here. An enchanted plant will apparently water and weed itself, but it also attracts pixies. In this shot with all the glowing plants, we can see some new wall decor here, as well as a matching window for that butterfly door from earlier. Here we see her get assaulted by pixies, which I'm curious to know if there are any consequences here aside from just like a negative moodlet for 2 hours or something. Here's a shot of some more build items, most of which I've already pointed out, but we get a better look at this desk and chair, this stand, and other variants of this new rug. She weeds the garden with the help of a child sim, which is really sweet. And we then see we'll be able to name our houseplants. This kid, who is wearing a new shirt and I think a new necklace, is very happy about this. Looks like we'll also be getting some new plant interactions in this pack, such as this compliment plant on photosynthesis skills interaction. And in the background of the shot, there's some really cool artwork that I honestly can't wait to build with. We go through the window to see these two Sims chatting outside. They both have new hairs, the same ones as the apothecary and the blonde fairy we saw in the reveal trailer. This might be a new watch. They both have new tops, and this Sim has new pants. And I can't help but say that I just hate this outfit. It feels like it doesn't match, and the items really don't look good together. This guy on the side here has flowers in his beard, a new hat, and some more of the new foraging clothing. I will say, however, this might be one of my favorite hairs that they've ever made, and I cannot wait to use it. And a small fairy flies around this Sim before growing to full size. And in this close-up of him, we can see this new headpiece. There's this really cool mask around his eyes, and he's also rocking a new tattoo, a new outfit, and some nice-looking yellow butterfly fairy wings. Looks like a fairy from the Autumn Court, straight out of A Court of Thorns and Roses. The Sim teleports, I guess, to this clearing where they start their journey to becoming a fairy by planting a fairy seedling, which they already have, I suppose? This ties in with the Fairy Stories aspiration, which is one of 3 new aspirations. The other 2 are Elixir Enthusiast and Nature Nomad, which show up later in the trailer. The seed instantly grows into a flower and Mother Nature suddenly appears. Mother Nature offers them a giant-ass potion? Like, holy shit, girl, what? They take the potion and then go for a swim. So the process to become a fairy seems to be drink mysterious liquid, submerge self in mysterious liquid. Got it. And the Sim transforms into a fairy, which even does away with that god-awful outfit and replaces it with a cuter new outfit, some new boots, and these little sleeve things that honestly look like water wings to me. Unless they are water wings and this is a bathing suit? But she's wearing boots? I don't know. I hate this outfit too now. I'm sorry. These wings are really cool though. I really like the slightly tattered look. We go into Create a Sim to see the bread and butter of this pack. Let's be real. It's not just the fairies, but the wings that are so important, and holy hell, am I ever floored by the options. We're gonna go back and go over it slowly and zoom in to see some of the options in the shot because everything just goes by so quickly. Like, I don't really even have commentary here, it's all just so majestic. I counted 27 different wing types in the list here. That seems wild to me. And not to mention all the additional customization with the color wheel and the layers and the patterns and oh my gosh. It's weird because I'm not surprised about getting this whole customization menu because they seem to be throwing it at everything except for actual clothing, but having it for fairy wings feels surreal in the best way. We see some new hairs and new skin tones before they start just overloading us with new cast items, which I'm honestly not complaining about. This Sim on the left has more defined pointy ears, and the wings have a really interesting scaly accent. There's some new face paint and some new circlets. This Sim's headwear changes to antlers, which means we may be able to create satyrs. Mr. Tumnus! It changes again to horns, which is super cool, and we can see some more of the new face paint and makeup options and new eye colors, which is really exciting. We zoom out to some full body shots where we can see a bunch of new outfits. A new pair of matching gloves and tights, new shoes, a new necklace, and excuse me, hooves? Satyrs for real? I really don't understand what's on this guy's head, but these glowing markings are so cool. We leave cast to see fairies in action, and I really like the plumb bob for the fairies. We get a look at their needs panel. We can see that their needs are emotional force, fun, social, energy, and hygiene. So fairies don't need to poop, which is interesting. But it looks like their hunger is replaced by emotional force, which is replenished by the moods of others. We'll be able to fill the bar by clicking on our fairy sim and selecting Regenerate Emotional Force, which only seems to restore a portion of it. It looks like if you let your fairy's emotional force fully deplete, they can die. So at least one death type is coming, even if it's just for fairies. In this shot, we can see another new hairstyle, which has leaves in it, perfect for your nature nomads. The fairy conjures up a bottled emotion, which can be consumed and is another way you can restore your fairy sim's emotional force. She drinks it, and we get a look at some new earrings and I think even some new teeth. In the next scene, we can see a new dresser and a new couch as this fairy absorbs this sim's emotions, which is an additional way to get some emotional force, and unsurprisingly, it looks like you can also get whatever mood they're in. So this fairy is now flirty, and this freezer bunny over here already looks scarred but has no idea what's coming. Oh boy. The fairy flies around the other sim and they do a fairy woohoo. It's very similar to the ghost woohoo from Life and Death, and I'm honestly not mad about it. It's cute. While they're, at it, we can see a new chair, fireplace, and some bookshelves here, as well as a rug with a unicorn. It's really cute how they end up on the ground together. I love this animation so much. At the beginning of the shot, we can see another swatch of this rug with a griffin, as well as another acorn guy and another butterfly window. The fairy goes to sleep in this dollhouse, which is new, and also adorable. We see some fairy magic in action. They have the ability to bloom plants, and she is watched by this little wizard gnome over here. Here we can see the fairy abilities progression system, which will remind you of essentially half the progression systems in the game, but I'm still excited nonetheless. There are 3 branches, the manipulation, emotion, and nature branches. And at first I assumed that, like the other systems, the middle one was sort of a neutral path, but in this case it might not be necessarily, which is intriguing. And what I'm really curious about is this customization column, which seems to have decision paths unlike the other columns. The fairy in the next shot uses the manipulation ability Age Up Another to age up Don Lothario into an old man, which I find absolutely hilarious because you just know she just ruined his life. We see another ability, which is Bring Gnomes to Life, and we can see how this one has several options. Mega curious to know what For Protecting is for, assuming it provides protection from other occults, but I'm not sure. And in this shot, we can see a few more new gnomes. We get to see an emotion ability, Sway Another's Emotion, used on Jeffrey Landgrab by this disruptive fairy. Whatever she did with his emotions, Nancy took offense. I am here for the drama. In this frame, a sim walks through this gorgeous new canopy, and we can see some close-ups of the new plants. This sim has the nature nomad aspiration, and I really love this new crop top here. These pants are new too, and the hair with the leaves has a version with a headband. And along the path behind her, there's a new mailbox. She walks into this full-on outdoor living area. I can't tell if this is the same sink from earlier, but with a canopy, or a different one entirely. And here we have a new rack for hanging clothes, and I assume some new clothes to hang on said rack. The sim forages nearby, which builds the natural living skill. This is a new skill that will allow sims to survive and thrive by living off the land. And as we can see, she eats this frog. She doesn't like it, presumably because her skill is pretty low. You can also see a pretty new key necklace here. In this next shot, she curls up on the ground and goes to sleep under the watchful eyes of this unamused acorn guy over here and this portrait of a gnome. Next, we see a montage of this sim building her natural living skill, which will make it easier for her to manage her needs while living outdoors. I have to point out this little dragon figurine here because look at it! Look at it! She bathes in a pond and then vibes outside with her plants. We get a better look at these pants, and I love the detailing at the bottom here. We switch scenes entirely now to 2 new sims, both with new shirts and pants, and I believe this is a new chain. As they're fishing, we can see these new clover symbols beside them. This denotes the new luck system. We see this sim, Rory, failed to catch a fish, possibly due to being a bad luck day, while this other sim, Anthony, is positively thriving with his freshly caught fish and his good luck day. According to the Sims blog post about the pack, Sims can have good, bad, or ordinary luck, and the luck system only affects Sims living in the new world, Innisgreen. Rory, who is clearly having the time of his life, goes from being balanced to imbalance. This is a really interesting system that ties into the new ailments feature coming in this pack. If your sim stays in a negative mood for a prolonged period of time, their balance will slip into imbalance, which, according to the trailer, causes quote-unquote minor symptoms. Ignoring this is what leads to the possibility of developing an ailment as you slip into very imbalanced, which cannot be good because look at this guy. This ailment, gnome lore, is not exaggerating as it literally seems to attract angry gnomes to your afflicted sim. The camera pans up and back down into a new shot, and we see the sim with flowers in his beard from earlier in the trailer who was just foraging. This sim has the 3rd aspiration coming in this pack, the Elixir Enthusiast. He gathers what looks to just be some daisies before heading to his apothecary table, which is a new object that raises, you guessed it, the apothecary skill. I love how the table seems to also have the same swatches as the counters and the cabinets, so it'll blend in nicely. And it also looks like we have a new stone wall pattern and flooring. The apothecary skill allows a sim to make cures to ailments, and we can see some more ailment names in this list like Greeny Meanie and Emotional Void. This skill also allows the crafting of emotion potions or elixirs that temporarily replenish all your needs. The apothecary drinks a potion he crafted, which turns out to be a luck potion, as you can see here. A pop-up appears, and we can see that this sim, Willow, is receiving a herbal house call because they are a naturopath healer. This is a profession that uses the apothecary skill to diagnose and cure other sims of their ailments. In this shot, we get a better view of the whole room while he takes a phone call. I believe this is a second new fireplace, and I just really love the way everything looks together. We get an outdoor view of the apothecary's house, and we can see a new market stall here, some sort of topless gazebo here, a new archway, a new dormer, and I love all the types of hanging plants on the front wall here. This roof texture does seem like it'll allow us to just place plants on it, which is very, very cool. And I'm curious if the roof tools may be getting some sort of update, since I can't recall being able to make roofs like this, unless I'm just terrible at roofing, which is such a valid possibility. Two sims walk up to the house, and this sim looks to have an ailment that reminds me of the grayscale disease from Game of Thrones. We can see some of the profession activities in action. It doesn't seem that detailed, which I guess I can't fault it for, since the whole thing seems to be assess client, cure client, but I was hoping for some more interactions here. But maybe there will be, and they're just not showcased here. We see the naturopath sim gathering information, and aside from offering crafted cures for ailments, naturopaths can express sympathy or revitalize a sim's needs. But if the chosen cure does not absolve the patient of their issue, they may leave angry and unsatisfied. Again, curious to know if there's any actual consequences for this. But if they have an ailment, typically they require a cure, which requires plants. And here we can see some of the new harvestable plants. The Moody Shrub, which is a spiral one, allows you to extract emotions from it, which is weird. This little flower tree, which I had no idea what it was in the reveal trailer, is an Aura Blossom, which apparently can mess with your luck or imbalance if you anger it. And then there's the Lightning Root, which I assume and hope can actually kill your sim if they're electrocuted twice in a row. So this soot-stained naturopath crafts a cure and doesn't even shower before offering it to the patient. We can see some of the elixir options here, like the Supernatural Shield or Enhanced Eyes, or this one, which I love, just called a Wee Drink. We see the bad luck sim, Rory, is cured of being harassed by gnomes. The next few shots are a quick run through of the 3 new neighborhoods, which are named the Coast of Admore, Spruce Dairy Grove, and Everdew, with Everdew having this epic fairy-themed bar complete with a new bar, of course, bar stool, this gorgeous backdrop, and these really cute mushroom lights. We see the naturopath sim has the mystical trait, which is one of 3 new traits coming in the pack, including disruptive, which we saw earlier with the fairy, and plant lover. I'm still convinced that this stall is both a food and drink / gnome stall, because obviously there are gnomes all here, but there's a coffee machine behind this guy, and the gnomes on the stall are carrying pastries. Don't ask me why I'm reading so much into this, I have no idea. The sim makes an offering at the glasswood tree statue, which summons this guy. This is Spruce Almighty, Mother Nature's ex, and I think he might be my new favorite NPC in The Sims. Apparently he can help around your lot and help with your sim's luck, and apparently there's a way to get your own statue to place on your lot to summon him more easily. And his hair is just a mess of plants. As these fairies mess around over here, we can see a better angle of these full glass windows or wallpaper or whatever, but whatever it is, I'll probably use it everywhere. The nature nomad eats a raw fish, and to end things off, we have some shots of the locations and sims we've seen throughout the trailer. And that's all for the Enchanted by Nature gameplay trailer. The expansion launches on July 10th, and I'm honestly really excited for this one. What did you guys think of the trailer? Are you considering picking this one up, or are you gonna wait for a sale? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for breakdowns and walkthroughs of cozy game content. Thanks for watching, and stay salty!